Hello, and welcome back to Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate. Meeting, so don't forget. Today, I think will be another deviant. This time it's the one after Lagombi. I can't remember which it is. Hermitaur. I have no idea how it's gonna be. Like, I feel like there's a lot of chance or hope. Like, it has a big claw. If it behaves differently, it could be a lot of fun. But so far, it's only 1 in 3 that have been good, in my opinion. Wait, did this setup actually have... It doesn't even have the max. I need to add the actual max potions to this list. It's all a mix of... I think at some point I need to just, by myself, spend a few minutes just sorting out those items. But it might change for G rank, which is why I'm kind of like, maybe I shouldn't. Like, I don't know what items might be added. I don't think there should be many or any items added at that point. But I really don't know. I think it should be fine though. Hermitaur has not been bad in this game with aerial switch axe. So I can only hope this one's not frustrating, basically. Because for me, that's the big thing. Frustration. Like... Rathalos was hard, but also, like, didn't add enough. Oh, it's not a bigger claw. Oh, it is, but it's not like... I was kind of hoping it'd be like 4 times bigger than the other claw. Like super massive. It's only about, I'd say, twice as big. Maybe? I probably should have eaten the buffs, but... Oh, okay, that was my mistake. I kind of just want to see it do something. Is this just generic deviant music? Because I think this is what I've been hearing from the other deviants. Ooh, that's actually a lot bigger there? That looks... different. Does it emerge more from the ground? Or did it... No, it didn't get bigger there. It was always just huge. Okay, so it's definitely bigger than normal Hermitaur. Not just a bigger right claw. There's steam on the big claw? The big claw is strong, obviously. So far, at least aesthetically, it's interesting. I don't know if it does anything. Oh, that's different. Oh, I'm not a fan of... I'm not particularly in favor of ranged attacks like that, but... Okay, just do something, please. That looked like a bigger, like, dirt spray than normal. That was a bad hitbox, because I was clearly above what would have hit me, but... I want to see... Like, see what it has... Okay, that's different. I don't think the normal one... No! The normal one definitely does something close to that. I'm just going for this because I want to see it maybe counter, but it didn't go for a counter for some reason. The camera there looked a little messy. Like, when it jumps, it's very jumpy. Because maybe it's not set up for this big of a Hermitaur or something funny. Yeah, it has to be like a arm break or something. Because it steams, so there's something about it. It's kind of slow as a monster so far. I deserve to be hit. I didn't line up properly. Okay, for a second, that sound effect, that was I think my cat being hit. I thought that was me being hit and I was gonna complain. That is garbage. These hitboxes so far on that claw are questionable. Oh, of course this is a bad sharpen to go for, but... yeah, some of the hitboxes have been a little... No, that's just nothing I can do at that point. Oop, weird looking. Come on, give me something. That's bad. Yep. This is one of my issues with the Hermitaur and Senator. These attacks are just a big waste of time. I just think they're not fun. They're just, oh, run around wasting time. Yeah. It's a type of attack that I think needs to exist because it's sort of a classic, just in general, but... so far I don't feel strongly about this. This feels... so far it just feels like a worse Daimyo Hermitaur. Because there's a couple hitboxes that I've never seen be bad for normal Daimyo Hermitaur. But it could be that I just never was in those specific situations while fighting it in this game. It's an interesting angle. So it runs into these caves on the right and exits in zone 10. Like, obviously, I'm using high rank armor, so it should be hitting me harder, but it's just a Hermitaur. So far. It could have some major twist, like you break the left claw and it goes into super fast mode or something. What is this? Ah. Okay. Kind of funny. I think like deviants are still they are still a normal monster. They're just like a super version of the normal monster. That's a weird one. I've never seen that before. I mean, the targeting there makes sense. That's the normal for this game, but that is just how this game works. Agreed. For no reason. It worked. Crap there. Kinda neat. I'm just thinking back to occasional visits to like a beach on like the west coast of Canada. Can't remember the name of the beach. But seeing little crabs move about in the water That I was holding the button, so I don't know why it did that. I didn't press it fast enough there. Like seeing crabs, then parents obviously saying, hey, don't mess with them, they're living creatures. They might pinch you, but it wasn't even because they'd pinch us, it was because just don't bother them. Like, crabs have always been neat. That hitbox hit me sooner than it should have. It should have hit me eventually, but it's too wide. Which, it's not too wide for what's expected of this game. Because by the standards of this game, me getting hit there was totally reasonable. But you gotta hold it to higher standards. That was lucky. There's an item on the ground I want to go grab. But like, I don't know, crabs are... they're very foreign compared to, you know, mammals. But they're... despite the fact they probably shouldn't be less weird than, you know, bugs, they are, to me. Like, I find bugs a lot weirder. Just by the fact that, like, crabs are basically just, you know, ocean bugs. And like, I don't know, this is a creepier crab than I've ever seen, but maybe hermit crabs look like this. That's kind of unfortunate. That's crazy that I was stunned there. It has to be that it's like a different mechanism compared to Rise and Sunbreak. Because it's like a percentage to be stunned maybe every hit, and it goes up instead of third hit is basically guaranteed or whatever it is in Rise. Because I've consistently been stunned, well, consistently. I've consistently been randomly stunned in what did not feel like more than 2 hits. So, I don't know. I'd be dead right now if I was using proper tiered armor. That is certain. You... Ludroth. Yeah, I don't know what hermit crab's... the face of a hermit crab looks like. Kind of wonder what a Monster Hunter version of a... I'm gonna call it a regular crab. But like a more normal is not the right word, but a non-shell based, they're all shell based. You know, a non-hermit crab. I wonder what what they would produce. Because you'd have to have part breaks, obviously. Like the 2 hermit crabs both have their own part breaks that are... okay, lovely, it just opened his face so it didn't do anything. Or I have to throw it closer. It's just not worth sonic bombing it, I think. If it takes too long to sheath the weapon, and by the time I do, it's already over. Except if I'm lucky and it does it twice in a row. Like a full-on soft-shell crab. But like, I'm gonna commit because I'm bored. Like a soft-shell crab with like a weird sort of part break. And like it starts as a soft-shell crab, which I think is basically just a crab. And there might be species, but it's also like a crab that's just molted. To at least some extent. Might be the only way that it's a soft shell crab. It might not be something that takes place ever other than post-molt. But like it could be a monster that has like a sort of molting animation that leaves it vulnerable, but if you're there for too long, it does a big hit. And like, when it's hard shell, it's an obnoxious bouncing. But if you break the shell, it then has to molt to get rid of it, making it more vulnerable. I don't know, like, there's any number of ways there could be a, like, I mean, there could already be a non-hermit crab type crab in Frontier, for all I know. Or in online, actually. That's another one that I think kind of has a lot of monsters that are not present outside of their specific sphere. So I think it's interesting. Ah, held his arm up a lot longer than I expected. I don't know, this one's been kind of pointless. And it doesn't seem like it has anything more. Maybe you can... Maybe the front left claw can be broken and I just haven't focused it enough, but... It just felt like a Hermitaur. Maybe it is different in high rank, because this is definitely a low rank hunt, because it's hunter rank 2 as a requirement. But there has to be something more about this claw, right? It's not just, oh, it's hard hitting. Because I think it's harder, I believe. But I'm not actually sure. Oh, something broke. Yeah. Like, the normal claw is... Oh, yeah, the claw is broken. So yeah, you can break it, but it's normally hard. I mean, that's actually cool. Why do you only do that now? Sweep, sweep, jump, slam is actually kind of cool. It's something. That's actually kind of gross. I don't know why, but the broken large claw makes me uncomfortable. Like, that missing chunk is kind of very uncomfortable. But yeah, I guess maybe that's not the same soft shell, hard shell sort of thing, but it must be that once you break it, it becomes weaker. Yeah, I don't know, that really makes me uncomfortable. It's just like missing it. It's different than tail cuts, because tail cuts are like an entire section's gone, as opposed to like a chunk. And like losing a chunk is really, a lot less. It's not comfortable anyway, but it's a lot more uncomfortable to think about the idea. I'm just like, yeah, there's examples that I can think of that to me support why that's weird to me, but I'm not gonna list them because it is gross in general. Yeah, that was fine. I'll do the next hunt. I'll continue doing these 2 of each deviant to give them, you know, a little bit better chance. That one felt like a Hermitaur. It didn't feel special at all, which it's fine. Doesn't need to be. It's just kind of... It's a lot less interesting that way. I think the ideal is... I mean, so far, Snow Bear and Lagombi fulfilled the ideal that I was looking for. I guess I just use this set. I need to make a better set. But it's fine. Yeah. Like Snowbear and Lagombi has a couple changes that are... It's lucky that I brought the cold stuff. Like there's... Snowbear and Lagombi has noticeable changes that are felt more thematically fitting as opposed... Like, I think they make it more dangerous, but it's not just, here's a way to make it more dangerous. It is also very expanding on the existing in a more interesting way than giving it an explosive fire thing. Though, Dread King Rathalos, that fire blast where it sits there, pulsates, then explodes, is, I think, solid. It's just not super interesting because it's... I don't know, it doesn't feel like a step up from an existing attack. It feels like just a strong attack. Where Snow Baron felt like it had... I'm going to try to focus on breaking the shell and try to avoid breaking the claw because it makes me uncomfortable. But Snow Baron had like a bigger snowball that it poured, and it was mostly just that's very fitting. While also having a few other similar but also pretty simple attacks that changed, but were still mostly, like, they were mostly the same. They were more dangerous in like thematically appropriate ways. Like Dread King Rathalos might have flown more. It was kind of resistant to being flashed out of the air until you break the wings. But most of its attacks didn't hit, they didn't work with the wings. Like, if he had wing attacks that were different, I think that would be interesting. But he doesn't. He just has different fireballs and more flight. Which more flight is appropriate for wings, but... it just... if it had... I don't know. Like, charge attacks? Or, that's a bad hitbox. Expected hitbox, but bad. But if it did attacks where it charges and stabs at the hunter with its wings, I think that would have been thematically fitting, and it could have been really dangerous. Like a dive attack. Like a super dive bomb where it charges its wings into the hunter to hit super hard. But instead all it has is fireballs. It doesn't take advantage of the entire change for its attack. It's just stronger. Now, it's entirely possible that I somehow missed some of its attacks, because that is... sometimes they just don't do an attack. Because I think there are attacks that I had fought like monsters several times before even seeing the attacks. This is a capture. Oh, cool. He finally did it. He actually went for the cool attack. Like that. Given, if I'd only done the first hunt, and I'd killed it a little quicker, I never would have seen that attack until now. And if I'd only done the first hunt, I never would have seen it. So it's possible that Dread King Rathalos has a couple of other attacks that I just haven't seen. But, I mean, I can't assume that it does. I mean, I'm here to hit the shell. On the assumption that this guy's shell can be broken like normal version. Or like the normal version. Committed. It's a bad idea, but it worked out. Worth it. I got the reload. Yeah, like, I don't know. I'm happy with the horn attack on this guy. Like, it's a decent, I think. This version is bigger. It's a larger monster, so it has a larger back, larger horn, so an attack that emphasizes the huge horn is kind of fun. And appropriate. It doesn't emphasize the claw, which is a shame. Like, I was hoping for attacks that focused primarily on its giant claw, but bigger monster, bigger horn is honestly reasonable. Like, I would say that's fun enough. It just needs to do it more. It just needs to use that attack more often. But maybe it only uses that attack if you're behind it and not beside it. I don't know. Maybe it just doesn't use it a lot. But if it did, it would be more interesting. And it would be annoying because it's an attack that you just avoid and then just stay away. It's not a very interesting attack to avoid. That was a bad hit. Like, the slope was janky there. The slope is always janky in this game, so it's not actually this monster's fault. Just it looked really bad with how I flew. If I get hit, I'm gonna complain. Good. The only reason I still might have been hit if it had moved, like if it wasn't a rotating attack. I like the visual design of this as a super Hermitaur. I'm gonna get hit. Oh wait, I got lucky. Is it more stamina efficient to just Superman? No, because you get hit anyway. But like, it didn't seem to consume as much stamina as I would have thought, compared to just running constantly, which is what I did normally. It doesn't really handle slopes the best with its legs. They just sort of... Its legs kind of live under the sand. Fair enough. If it hits me, I'm gonna complain. Yes, that was bad. That should not have hit. Because I was clearly behind the sand dune. Oh, lovely. I hit the ledge so it canceled the roll. Again, I probably should be dead if I wasn't using this armor. I would be playing more cautiously probably and healing more frequently if I wasn't using this armor, but yeah, observed. Well, not really, but obviously greedy, but also those attacks, if you just committed to an attack because you don't want to sit there doing nothing, there's not really much you can do. I feel like the shell should break kind of soon, right? I think it shouldn't be too distant. I think a variant, deviant or otherwise, of Daimyo Hermitaur that I'm gonna say unreasonably was actually focused on the skull, like bite attacks, horn attacks, stuff like that. Could be funny. Not necessarily a good idea, just because if you're gonna have it focus on that, then it might as well just be a monster with a large head that you just fight directly instead of having it be connected that way, but it could be fun. I don't think I did a secondary because the secondary might be the Gendrum. I've lost the purpose of subquests at this point. Oh, so that's 2 breaks. I wonder if it can break a 3rd time. Or if that is the hard limit. That was doomed. That shouldn't have... might not have hit for full damage, but also... I knew the cat was going to be the target. And that I shouldn't run straight towards it. I'm going to continue trying to break the guy. Ooh, the blue. The blue blood. Like, I don't think I paid attention. Blue blood like, oh, it's not hermit crabs, but it might be hermit crabs. But, oh, what, horseshoe crabs. Where they have blue blood. Oh, this is a capture quest. They have blue blood. And it is medically valuable. But also the harvesting might... The harvesting is interesting because they collect them, they take blood, they put them back. Which is, in theory, better than just killing them. But apparently there's been a this was from something I heard years ago, so I don't know if this has been new news. This has been there was a reduction in the number of horseshoe crabs that could be harvested, which means probably the ones returned were more likely to just die for one reason or another, which means that it was not like... Okay, it still does the attack even when it doesn't have the horn. That's kind of fun. So yeah, so the ones that were harvested from might just be weaker. Unsurprisingly, they lost however much blood. So of course they're going to be weaker. But it's kind of interesting, just the specific things people do It's gonna be close to capture soon. I don't think that's limping. I think that was normal. Which means that it's probably close, but just not quite there yet. Which is the worst state for capturing. Well, let's see how it goes. Yeah. We capture it to harvest its blood to... I think it is just testing. It's something medical testing related. That was a weird looking animation. Like weirdly natural looking, honestly. Worth it. I should Sonic Bomb because I have 2 easy Sonic Bombs, but... Okay, now is when it's definitely going to be close, right? Because third mount is usually when I need to worry. For most monsters. Yeah, it's not. I'm not going to sharpen. I'm going to normal hit it a few times until it stands up. And now I'm going to stop hitting. Okay, it's not leaving yet. Which means I will sharpen. Or try to sharpen. Yeah, that's actually pretty good for a climb animation. Like, I actually think it looks quite a good deal better than most of the other monsters in this game. Now it should be limping? Yes. Maybe it's only a 2-stage break and it just never goes beyond this. I think that would be fine. I'm gonna let it go to sleep. I'm pretty sure it should sleep and then I can capture it really easily. I have to wait. I think it's still transitioning into 3 by now. Now it's moving towards the center. I'll let the Gen Prey beat me up a bit. It should be in the process of sleeping. It should definitely be asleep by now, right? I've never... I mean, they probably sleep. I've just never imagined a crab or a hermit crab sleeping. In the same way I never imagined, like, fish sleeping. It's just sort of... It just doesn't cross my mind. Like, I can picture a cat, a dog. Most normal mammals. Normal, because bats, if it wasn't for the obvious, you know, they sleep upside down information, it'd be hard to picture a bat sleeping. Or like most quadrupedal mammals, you can picture sleeping. At least I can, except for... Giraffes are a little weirder to picture sleeping. But I assume they sort of fold their legs under themselves and sort of sit down to sleep. That was okay. I would say that's second best deviant so far. Like, a little more interesting to me than Arzuros, but not anywhere near Lagombi. I don't have much hope for this one. I guess I have 3. I'll probably do 4. I'll probably do 1, 1, 1, and then split these. Just like 2 of this, 2 of this, 2 of this, 1 and 1. Because I don't think either of these are going to be fun because their bases are already incredibly annoying. And I can't imagine them making those more fun. But maybe they do. But I'm going to check something real quick. Which is basically checking the basic armor. Recovery speed, oh, vault. See, the Snow Baron stuff might be worth it. It depends on what the Snow Baron buff actually does. But vault, I don't like the aesthetic, but I mean, losing Tenderizer and attack would definitely not be worth it. But vault is increased damage of jumping attacks. It's like 10%. Like if I could do that, it could be usable. But I don't think Snow Baron actually gives a real benefit. I'm pretty sure I would have remembered if it gave like critical eye. Stonefist is bubble and crisis. I don't know what bubble is. A crisis I can guess. Ah, bubbly dance. Interesting. I wonder what sort of build that plays into, like how it plays. And then yeah, presumably that like the bubbles, bubbly dance applies you bubbles, and the bubbles trigger crisis, which might be good. It seems like it probably works together. But yeah, I don't think it's worth it. I could check the weapons. It's okay looking. Decent looking. Actually, that one looks... It's a water element file. It's like, if it's good elementally, it's probably... Like, if element is good in this game, it's probably not bad. Well, not terrible. Kind of like this one might be okay, but... Maybe because I could probably make... If I want to try a different weapon, I can probably use one of the types that I don't particularly care about. Like, if I'm not going to make a Stonefist armor set, making one of these just to test it could be doable. I could do try some aerial greatsword at some point, figure out how that works. But that will not be today. Or tomorrow. Or necessarily very soon, but... I guess next time is Dread Queen. And I'll try to make my way through the rest of the deviants before I get back to... I guess finishing 5-star. I think it's just 3 more hunts. Yeah, 3 more quests. And then some Palico stuff. And then a lot here. And probably a bunch of quests to pick up. But those will wait till after I do at least one of each deviant available. I don't think I'm going back to Rathalos until I upgrade my Switch Axe, which will be a Seregios, which I might be able to do already, but that's the future. So, have a nice day. Bye-bye.